That disturbs me.
That does disturb
Blah,
me.
blah, blah. Yeah!
Welcome to Stoopid Movies, where we watch them so you don't have to.
Yeah. This week we watched one of my all-time favorite movies, not to front-load it, Transylvania 5000.
Yeah! 1985, PG, 93 minutes.
Directed by Rudy DeLuca.
Yep.
It starred Jeff Goldblum, Ed Begley Jr., Gina Davis, Carol Kane, Jeffrey Jones, Michael Richards.
Man.
It was a packed cast.
Stellar cast.
Yeah.
Stellar cast.
Joseph Bologna.
I like bologna. We should say we're continuing our Halloween theme, even though this isn't really a Halloween movie, but it's got Universal monsters.
It's got all the Universal monsters in it, so I'm counting it as a Halloween movie.
That works.
And this was my pick.
So what was this about?
So this is about two reporters, Jeff Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr.,
Yes.
who are basically tabloid reporters.
Yep.
And they get sent to Transylvania to cover Frankenstein, become the laughingstock of the town, but then it turns out there actually is a Frankenstein, and a werewolf, and a vampire,
And a pretzel.
and a mad scientist, a mummy,
Hunchback.
a hunchback. Boy, everything is packed into this movie. And hilarity ensues. This is a comedy, not a horror.
So what do we like about this movie? I'll let you start, because...
So this is, I will admit, a childhood favorite of mine. I watched this when I was probably 6 or 7, and I have watched it 1,000 times since then. I can do the jokes
still in
myself.
diapers?
Yeah, so I'm still in diapers.
Some things never change.
Sorry, I had to pee. But one thing I really like is the humor in this movie. This is goofy ass. This is us. If we made a horror movie, this is kind of what it would end up like.
Probably.
But there'd be more gore.
Oh, yes.
And boobs.
Yes.
Which there was none of either of those in this.
Gina Davis cleavage. Oh, my God. Acting in this is very good.
Yeah.
Again, solid cast. I mean, you get people you know.
Yeah.
I mean, numerous people.
Yeah, I think the only one at this point who wasn't really big would be Michael Richards, who went on to be Kramer in Seinfeld. At the time, he wasn't really a big actor or anything. This was a pretty early role for him.
Yeah.
But everyone else was, pretty famous at the time. It's not like these were no names.
I like speaking of Michael Richards, I like his character in this.
Yes.
It's not like a major character. It's more of a just goofy, servant kind of character, but just like a practical jokester.
Everything is slapstick. He does a lot of really good pratfalls in this.
Yeah, it was like me, basically, if I was Transylvanian. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny.
It's funny, no?
It's funny, no.
Yeah.
I got big balls. No, the goofy story, it's simple. It's just,
I dig all the different monsters. I mentioned, we rattled off a list of how many monsters there were. I can't think of many movies that pack that many monsters in. There was Monster Squad.
Right, that's the only one I can think of.
And there was Monster Squad.
Right.
And not really much else. This was like all of the Universal monsters got together. The only thing they didn't have was like a gill man or something.
For this kind of movie, the pacing was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
It really wasted no time getting to the point. And it's kind of hard to really talk about that because it's more of a comedy, but it was consistently funny and consistently something going on, and so
most of the time it didn't feel like they were setting.
It's funny, yes.
It's funny, yes. Most of the time, the pacing, it didn't feel like they were just moving you to the next joke. Most of the jokes felt like part of the story, and they moved it ahead. And it never felt like the story was really just moving to a point where it's like, here's the next punchline, and here's the next punchline. The music in this was pretty good. Yeah. It has its own theme song. 2, if you count the one at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And most of the rest of it's just background music, but it works.
All right. So what weren't we not a big fan of? Some of it was a little too over the top at times. Which I guess kind of pairs with this other thing I wrote. It's kind of a mood movie.
Yeah.
This is a very slapsticky, just stupid comedy. Kind of think of like Rob Schneider type comedy.
Or Leslie Nielsen movies.
Nielsen. Yeah. Just goofy. Jim Carrey. That kind of movie. It's like you got to kind of be in the mood for it. And if you're not, then this is just going to be annoying.
Right. And I will say with that, you said it's a little over the top, which it absolutely is.
And it's intentional.
Intentionally.
So.
Some of the jokes go a little too long.
Yeah.
I hate to say it's a pacing issue after we said the pacing was good, but with the individual jokes, especially the Michael Richards jokes, some of those overstay their welcome. And I don't know if maybe it's just that it's, 30, almost 40, oh my God, we're old, almost 40 years later, it's like, oh, this, you know, our timing is better now than it was then.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing that really bothers me, the film quality on this is horrible. There is not a 4K restoration.
Right.
This is not high def.
This is the original
Yeah.
kind of shot. And the only other thing maybe is some of the monsters felt like just filler.
Ones that just threw in, like the pretzel guy.
What?
The mummy
Yeah.
was just kind of like, oh, okay, that was one that was only there for one joke at the end.
Right. So this was the first time I think I've ever seen it.
This is your first watch.
I don't remember it at all. Maybe I watched it when I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, it was a good pick. So I'm glad I watched it. It was I laughed many times. It was good, eh?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, you laughed a lot.
I did laugh quite a bit.
I did too, and I even know all the jokes.
Yeah, I love the stupid humor stuff. It cracks me up almost every time. I'm almost always in the mood for it. So, there wasn't much for horror or nothing, no gore, none of that.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is, and it was a fun movie. And thanks for showing it to me, Fred.
Well, you're welcome.
Hey, so I'm gonna give it 7 out of 8. I didn't quite love it, but I highly enjoyed it.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, no, it's not perfect, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
First, I should say I have a strong childhood attachment to this movie. I owned the VHS.
Like your wiener.
Right.
Yeah.
I wore the VHS out like my wiener.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And when the VHS wore out, I begged my parents to go buy another copy, like my wiener.
Oh God!
And a replacement copy was not available anymore.
So wiener?
Either. Both. So there is no way I can objectively review this movie. I know it has its flaws, and I don't care. If I could ask you to go watch one movie, we've done probably around 200 movies, and if I could ask you to go watch one of them, this would be the one I would beg you to go watch. Nice. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 8. And I have absolutely no objective reason to say that. I know it's got problems. It's not a perfect movie, and I don't care.
So we recommend it.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out.
Even Rob recommended it, and he has no attachment to it.
I have no attachment to that or your wiener.
Yeah.
So,
no.
We recommend.
All get attached to my wiener.
Oh, God. It's like the human centipede. Oh. So go check it out. Support indie horror, because technically I suppose this would be indie horror.
This would technically be an indie horror movie.
Support all horror, mainstream, indie, all of it, because we need all of it. Support us. And you can do that by going over to facebook.com/StoopidMovies.
Yeah.
And you could support him at Dr. Sketch Turner.
On Instagram.
On Instagram, yes.
Yeah.
And
not on Facebook.
No, not on Facebook. And on Instagram, me at the Horror Punk.
Or both of us.
At Stoopid Movies.
You could email us.
At StoopidMovies@outlook.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go like and subscribe to the page. Tell your friends, tell people.
Send Rob pictures of topless Gina Davis, because he'll share them with me.
So, on that note, we're going to continue our Halloween-themed horror fest, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah, next week is your pick.
Oh.
So it's going to be a serious horror movie.
Yes, it will. I'm not sure what yet, but tune in because it will be up.
Yeah. Bye, friends! Ooh. Gina Davis is in 25K, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She wore a shirt that was cut, I swear, to the top of her pubes.
Yep.
There's a gray hair right there.
Shut up. Damn it.
Have you seen my gray hair?
Oh, hey.
Look at all those gray hairs. Are you kidding me?
It's a field of gray.